and welcome back to the final Ramble for this week. We won't have a hype train this week. Instead, we're going to be talking about Rogue One. Mark, you're the one who brought up this Ramble, and I think you're the one who is definitely, probably more hyped for this
I'm very
trailer.
excited about it. I'm very excited.
I definitely want to bring up, before we begin, I think this is definitely one of those that points to me where I'm just like, we should start having assets on the show. We could totally have the trailer playing in the background, and I think, I definitely like the layout that I use for the other two shows, and I think it somehow could translate into this show, and I just want to find out how.
Yeah, and I think if we were to do something like that, like especially on a topic like this in reference to like a movie trailer or movie or whatever show, to establish beforehand if we're going to actually kind of talk about that or just in general, because I don't know, I feel like if we had the trailer and I can be like, oh my god, what was that? Let's talk about that for the next 10 minutes.
Or just an article about, like something about men's clothing and underwear, or something about, what did we just talk about? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. I'm leaving this interview. Bye.
He's gone forever, kids. Don't do drugs.
I'm sorry, can I still have the job?
You're hired. Anyways, Rogue One, I am very excited for. As the new trailer dropped, I think it was this week. And, I'm not... I think when Episode 7 trailer dropped, I was just like, every chance I got, I wanted to see the trailer, I want to rewatch it and see all these little nuances and Easter eggs or whatever. Rogue One, I'm happy with it. It looks great, but I'm not like obsessed about it in the fact that I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. But I'm excited because it's completely different from every other Star Wars movie that I've seen. It's not a part of the the Skywalker.
The idea thus far is a lot more modern, and what I mean by that is a story of the little guys who are trying to do something around the giants. The giants are the Skywalkers, Vader, the Emperor, etc., Solo, and for me, I wasn't sure if you were going to say this about the Episode 7 trailers, but Episode 7 had a lot of hype that I think just did not get fulfilled as much as the trailers kind of had you going. And
I think it was... Go ahead.
And I still say it's a great movie, but I don't go above and beyond that. I do look back and I'm just like, I got hyped. And I had, even before that, I was just like, I don't really get hyped over trailers. I don't get hyped for things until I just hear and have a feeling that, in a sense, that they are good. And Rogue One is another instance of that for me, where I just look at it and I'm just like, maybe, but and a lot of it is just because... Man, all right, so here are spoilers, and I will insert an image of spoilers on the video until the spoilers are over. So if you want to skip ahead, you can look for when there is no spoilers tag up above me. But
good idea.
Full on, I think about like all the subtle hints to what did they call it? The Planet Death Star, Starkiller Base, which was a subtle reference to two Star Wars games.
Are you talking about in the Episode 7 trailers?
in the Episode 7 trailers. All the little subtle hints that there is some kind of super weapon. And then it just was a fucking set piece and that lived just as you expected, where it was just like, and it's gone. All right, awesome.
Yeah. And I think the Episode 7 and its trailers also had a lot of hype behind it because one, J.J. Abrams, and he does these giant spectacles now, which that's his thing. And I like it. It's not like the best thing in the world. And also it is a continuation of a saga, whereas I feel like Rogue One, it's Gareth Edwards, who's not as well known. He did Godzilla.
Didn't he do Brick?
And Brick. No, Brick was Rian Johnson.
Okay.
Gareth Edwards, Monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna put a lot of this like some indie flair to it, because that's like he's still kind of a up and coming director, and I also feel like it's gonna really
you're gonna break up a bit, and you might notice that. That's my fault. I'm IMDbing
searching stuff.
I want to look who wrote the Book of Eli.
I have no idea.
Because he was actually a writer on this. On the movie Rogue One, yes.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's going to have some of these like more like these like some indie influence to it, but still have like some real raw kind of flair of the original trilogy. And I think Gareth Edwards is going to be great to do that. And why do I think that? I think it's because like he's not all about the spectacle. He's not about all these fancy lens flare or the stuff that J.J. Abrams does that like it looks great, but it's like
so
some depth.
one comment in there is like J.J. Abrams is basically on kind of a border of being Michael Bay. I think some people might hear like lens flares and very much think Michael Bay, and I think the large difference is when Abrams does something original, it is phenomenal. But when he seems to approach Star Trek and like Episode 7, and there are others that Gary Whitta, he wrote the Book of Eli, and he was also a mind behind Rogue One.
Nice.
And so yeah, when I like think of Abrams doing a reboot or like a next iteration, I think of things getting overloaded and. Episode 7, while not as much as, say, The Wrath of Khan, or should I say Star Trek Into Darkness, it's still just... It still had a lot of kind of almost elements that just weren't necessary.
Right.
And, like lines that were just like a little too corny, even though the original Star Wars had some campiness to it.
Right.
It was still just a bit much. And... It's this is me basically returning to my roots of like we'll see, so especially with Episode 8,
right? Sorry about that. Apparently someone's got a very loud car. Episode 8 is going to be Rian Johnson though, and we both dig him. At least I do.
You do. Yeah. I return to that, like, sure, directors can be great, but they can be great in particular moments and not so much in other moments.
I think that's why, like, I'm excited about these two, specifically 8 and Rogue One, is because, like, I've known these directors when they did, like, the small indie film Brick and Monster, like, that were extremely low budget and made phenomenal films out of it. So, like, that gives me, like, high hopes for both of these next 2 Star Wars movies, and, and
the same thing can be said of JJ. And again,
true.
I definitely think that Episode 8 was great, but I don't think it exceeded that kind of level of quality where it's great is just above good. Good is just above. It was okay, if we have to.
You're
like
whelmed.
I was. I was just above whelmed.
Just above whelmed.
I was happily whelmed.
I like it.
So. For me, it's one of those wait and see things, and I can't help but wonder if I'm even going to see it in the theater. I think this might end up being one of those instances where I actually, even if people say it's great, I just wait until it's on DVD.
I was legit thinking on my drive down here, because I don't know why it popped in my head back to Columbus. I was just like, I should probably just go see that at midnight when it comes out.
Damn, that's pretty hyped.
Well, I've got this problem where I get emotionally attached to movies. I watched short, quick, slightly off topic, not really.
It's Ramble Entertainment, dude.
Exactly. When I was coming back from Dallas, I watched Room on my iPad Mini, and I just started crying on the airplane. It was.
I don't even recall Room.
Brie Larson is it? She won the Academy Award for Best Actress for the movie. She raises a kid in captivity for 5 years.
I think I had heard of it, but it's just,
I think its budget was like super small, but
you also do get attached to like indie darlings more than most.
And that movie. Just
I liked Monster and I loved Brick, so like we're very much on the same wavelength. But I do think I temper my expectations a lot more than you do.
Yeah, I kind of need to watch Brick again. That was a good one.
I know. I've been thinking that as well. We'll see. This might be one of those where you might see it before, kind of like a week or two after critical reception, and I still haven't seen it, and we talk about it, and then I go. It might just be one of those where we both delay and then go after critical reception. For me, I'm definitely not going like the first week. Unless they have those pre-screenings,
right,
where celebrities and press go to see them, and the press is just fucking up the movie's ass.
Yeah. Let me ask you, where do you see yourself in 3 months?
Let's go to the topic.